We have Runick, Exosister, and that's at Ignister as well for everybody today. Make sure you 34% of you that have not smashed it, and crap out of the subscribe button, please smash it so we can climb up the 100K ladder here. The first list we're going to be looking at here is Runick. Now, I can tell you that this is a little bit similar to what I actually have been messing around. I actually have a couple Runick videos filmed to go up on the channel, but somebody beat me to it. So I do think that this deck is very, very strong. I think a lot of people have kind of underestimated. Mystic Mine went down the crapper. Yeah, sure. This card is busted as crap in this deck. And Messenger of Peace, looking at like the OCG and kind of pulling from their knowledge pool. This card is going to be very good. Also, I mean, Floodgates. Floodgates, floodgates, floodgates. We can imitate a fraction of Mystic Mine's power through this, and it looks like it's working out here. So of course you got no monsters in the main deck, baby. So you got the one Terraforming with the one card Demise, the double Disguises, the triple Duality, your triple Messenger, your one Runick Dispelling. As much as I want to play multiples of this card, you kind of have to be very careful, especially when you're going through, you know, the current format. We have triple Fountain with triple Runick Tip, triple Destruction with only one Golden Droplet, triple Freezing Curses with triple Flashing Fire, triple Slumber with one Smiting Storm, triple Skill Drain, triple Rivalry, and triple There Can Only Be One. The interesting thing for those of you Floodgate lovers out there, Rivalry appears to be the better call this format. Extract down here is all resource-based, baby. You got one Nova with one Makaba with one Anitis. And you got triple Frecky, triple Gary, triple Moonin, and triple Hugin. And you got triple Ghost Sister, triple Majesty's Fiend, triple Lava Golem, triple Evenly Matched, and triple copies of Dark Bribe here, wrapping up your list. Now, it's something that the OCG was doing. I've been playing Sphere Modes, DD Dynamites. You have all sorts of little cute, innovative ways that you can mess around with here to make this deck work. So a lot of things to consider there. Next up here we have Exosister, and yes, that is Zoroa actually seeing play again. I know a lot of people kind of bounce back and forth on, do I want to play the Magic's package in this? You know, is it worth it? And also, the craziest thing about all of this, there's not a single Necro Valley in this whole main deck. Didn't rely on it, alright? It's so impressive, alright? It's down here. Side deck actually had a lot of the option trees that this deck kind of wanted to see on the sub burner, which is kind of nice. We have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, triple copies of Dimension Shifter. We have triple copies of Effect Veiler with triple copies of Ellis. We have one copy of Irene, triple copies of Martha, triple copies of Sophia, and then we have triple copies of Stella. Yeah, we're still pretty much packing in the majority of the names here. Then we have triple copies of Zoroa, two copies of Hadoken. Interesting that really didn't have the room to play the third per se. We also have triple packs, triple Pot of Prosperity, two Returnia, two Vadas, and triple copies of good old Infinite Permanence here. And then down here in the extract, we got one Daybreaker, the Shining Magical Warrior, two copies of Artemis, two copies of Magnifica, triple copies of Mikhails, two copies of Caspitiel, one Jabrian with Ono Sophiel, one Zeus, one copy of Zoroa, so we're actually playing the Synchro, I'll be, and one copy of Arwes. And then we have one Dark Will and No More, so we have access to the other. We're starting Carpe Diem, one copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, two Necro Valley, one Terraforming with two copies of Zombie World, two Dimensional Barrier, triple Evenly Matched, and two copies of Solemn Judgment Friend here, wrapping up more of, I would consider, your norm at this point for this good stuff. Next up here is at Ignister. He said, when I was getting sent this, he was like, please don't call it Math Mech. It's a very small Math Mech package. This was actual at Ignister, everybody. At Ignister performed. Yeah, it's not like amazing. Sure, 72nd place might not be too much to scoff at, but it is definitely nice to see, you know, just how this deck is still maintaining a presence, you know, even if it's not crazy. I mean, when people in the room aren't really worried about, you know, the big at Ignister Link 6 guy, you can kind of steal some free wins with this. So it's just, how many buy steals can your opponent, I guess, throw at you to hurt you? So we have triple copies of a Chi, triple copies of Ash. We have one Baruru. We have two Druidisworm. Triple copies of Magna Hut with one Saronir. And then we have one Dammari, two copies of Doyan. We have one Gachakiri, one copy of Ghost Spell. And then we have one copy of Hayari, one copy of Mathmech Edition with triple Circular. We also have one Sigma with one Subtraction. And we have triple copies of Picari. And of course, two Skullmeister. Your hand trap ratio for this deck actually looks pretty good. We have triple copies of I Meet You, one Idol Reborn with one Called by the Grip, triple copies of Sign Up Mining with two copies of the Field Spell. Two Field Spell I think is fine right now. We have one Mathmech Equation with two Talents and triple copies of Infinite Permanence. Down here, we have one Update Jammer with one Transcode Talker, one The Arrival, and then we have one Security Dragon with one Splash Mage, one G-Golem Crystal Heart. That is actually interesting that we are seeing this C-play. We have one Heat Soul with one Dark Templar, two Dark Infants with one WizKid. We have an Access Code, one Alambertian, one Light, and one Wind Pegasus. We have one Firecracker with one Meowsclick, two Cosmic Cyclone, triple Dark Hole, a Harpy's Feather Duster, triple Lightning Storm, one Appointer, and triple copies of Revelry of the Warlords here. Wrapping up at Ignister. Next up, we got some Flaunderies action here. Now, I really enjoyed kind of looking through a lot of the Flaunder list out of this event, because you're seeing like differences between like, do I play evenly or do I not play evenly? How many Mega Rises are we playing? 2 versus 1. You even went so far as to see triple N Pen versus 2. But I think a lot of the consistency out of this event was one barrier statue versus multiples. 2 looks like for this point it wasn't a crazy stick around overall. So I'm not surprised to see the ratios as they're kind of lining up here. So we have one barrier statue of Stormwinds, triple copies of Dimension Shifter, triple copies of Eagle, and then we have 2 copies of Impen, triple copies of Rabina with one Stritch, and then we have one Toucan Sam, one Apex Avian with one Ryza, and then we have triple copies of Hadoken, triple copies of Advent, triple copies of Magnificent Map with one Unexplored Winds. Then you got triple Pot of Duality with triple Pot of Prosperity, one Terraforming with triple copies of Evenly Matched, one Dreaming Town, and we're actually still sticking around to playing triple Imperm. So you're kind of getting the best of, I feel like, all worlds for this build. Down in the extra deck, you have one Underworld Goddess with one Selene, one Anima with one Area, one Axis Machine with one Promenade Thrush, one Assembled Nightingale with one Heretic Overlord, one Downer Magician with one Zeus. We're playing one Shiranui Shogun Saga, a Divine Neos, 2 copies of Anitis, and one Dragon Master Knight. Side deck here is one Change of Heart, triple Cosmic Cyclone with one Gold Sark, one Harpy's Feather Duster, triple Harpy's Big Featherstorm, triple Solemn Judgment, and triple copies of Trap Trick here, wrapping up some more of your Flaunderies experience. And then the last we have for you guys here was Tier, and a big reason why I chose to cover this was Duelist was very adamant about this deck performing, and a simple misplay just kind of ruined their day. Not really much you can do about losing to yourself, especially, you know, in high tense pressure matchups. The only thing you can do is kind of try your best and learn and come back for, you know, the future. Also shout out to Mr. Graffa here, kind of sitting in here and being a nice little monster that a lot of people have kind of started to know and love. So 2 copies of Jerusalem, triple copies of Magna Hut with one Saronir. We have triple copies of Kelbeck with triple copies of Keldo, triple copies of King of the Swampy. We have triple copies of Mudora, triple copies of Havness with triple copies of Merly, 2 copies of Reno Heart with triple copies of Shayren, 1 copy of Instant Ramen with 1 Poly. And we've got triple Paralineo, 1 Heartbeat with 2 Scream, 1 Terraforming, and then 1 Crime and 1 Solic. Down here in the good old extra deck, we got 1 Sprind with 1 Elf, 1 Dahark with 1 Time Thief Reader, 1 Baguski, 1 Zeus, 1 Beatrice with 1 Abyssdweller, and we got 1 Rukalos, 1 Kitgalos, 1 Kaleido Heart with 1 Mudmud, 1 Guardian Chimera, 1 Graffa, and 1 copy of Garuda. Side deck here, you got 1 Druist Herd, 2 copies of Saronir, triple Spooky Dogwood, 1 Cowboy, triple Lightning Storm, 2 Heartbeats, and triple copies of the Talents, wrapping up the last chunk of good deck profiles really had out of this event. So, what do you guys think about all of these? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you. Ugh.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.